right now on 5 on your side at 10.
Tonight, a new twist in our I-Team investigation. St. Louis County's efforts to stop 5 on your side from reporting on a family's dog put down without permission.
A nice break from the high heat and humidity, but will our dry weather last?
Our top story, new findings about a toxic landfill in Bridgeton.
This validates everything that we went through.
The improvements made and the fears those living nearby still have. We want to thank you for joining us at 10. I'm Brent Solomon. Mike and Ann have the night off. Tonight, the Missouri Department of Health says fumes from an underground fire at the Bridgeton landfill are now at safe levels. But that wasn't always the case. The fire still burns today, just yards away from radioactive waste buried in the neighboring Westlake landfill. 5 on your side's Laura Bercheski joins us now. Laura, you spoke with those who fought for years to clean up that landfill.
I did, Brent. The people I talked to who were affected by the fumes from this landfill say this report affirmed everything they were going through years ago with nosebleeds and health problems. But for them, this isn't over, and there's still a long way to go to make this area safe.
Well, I mean, I think we lived through it, right? I mean, we were the ones that were at Target shopping and encountered the odor, and then the nose would start bleeding.
For years, the families and workers around Bridgeton landfill and the Westlake landfill site as a whole couldn't escape the fumes and odor from an underground fire.
It was coming in our windows. I mean, we'd have to shut off our HVAC systems at points.
In 2014, a new gas and leachate extraction system was put in place to control the sickening sulfur-based odor. Now a report from the Missouri Department of Health says those measures reduced emissions and dropped the health and cancer risks down to a level that's similar to living in a city. But Dawn Chapman says those findings are not 100% reliable.
The system did go down when it flooded a couple weeks ago. So for that, and then they rushed to get it back on. But yeah, if it doesn't work, then it comes back.
The report says in years prior to putting in that system, the health and quality of life of people who worked and lived near it were harmed by those odors.
The number of people that had not had issues before, that suddenly that was happening. They were having lung issues, and then it was cardiac.
But unfortunately, there were some unknown chemicals in the air they couldn't really study, according to the report.
And it's also a concern in the future. If we were able to create new chemicals just from old chemicals mixing together, then how do we know that there aren't other things mixing in and the creation of something else that's even more hazardous?
And while the extensive monitoring done by the state is largely over, the people affected by the issue continue to dig through data.
Right now, it's kind of like a patient in critical condition, right? It's hooked up to wires. It could crash at any time. We are looking for the ultimate surgery, the ultimate fix, and things that will make it stabilized.
The residents I talked to say they would really like to see the air quality monitoring continue at the level it did during this study, and hope in the future leaders will be more transparent with them. Brent.
All right, Laura, thanks. Tonight, a shelter-in-place order now lifted following Wednesday's massive 5-alarm fire at a recycling plant in Madison, Illinois. Officials still warn those with health problems should take precautions as crews continue to clear the site there. Today, Governor J.B. Pritzker issued a disaster proclamation. It grants the state the ability to expedite the use of resources, personnel, and even equipment to help communities recover. It is not too late. That's the message tonight from the Red Cross to flood victims. The final multi-agency resource center closed just a few hours ago, but resources are still available.
Make sure to contact FEMA and go through that process, because you may qualify for one and not the other, or you may qualify for both. So be sure to check all avenues.
Grab a pen. We have 3 numbers for you. The Red Cross says assistance and services will remain available by calling 1-800-RED-CROSS. Flood victims can also call United Way at 211. And to get a hold of FEMA, call 1-800-621-3362. If you didn't catch those numbers, text the word HELP to 314-425-5355 and we'll send them straight to your phone. The St. Louis Police Department will soon end its mandatory 12-hour weekend shifts for officers, and that move is coming just a bit earlier than expected. New tonight, Robert Townsend is live outside of police headquarters. Now, Robert, how is the community reacting to this?
Well, Brent, people I talked to say the police department's decision to end its mandatory 12-hour shifts is a shift in the wrong direction. Recently retired Police Chief John Hayden initially said starting on June 10th, St. Louis police officers would work mandatory 12-hour shifts on weekends. Hayden said the plan would continue until the end of September. But Thursday, in a department-wide memo, Interim Chief Michael Sack said the extended shifts will now end in 2 weeks on August 28th.
I thought it was a great idea to have 12-hour shifts.
I have seen more patrol in the area. Like I said, it does make you feel safe.
The mandatory overtime was a strategy to deal with the summer shortage and to curb weekend crime. 5 on Your Side talked to residents and business owners on the city's north side. Trina Farrow lives on Sherry Avenue, where a 15-year-old girl was shot last month.
I think they should extend it at least until the kids get back in school.
Others wanted to see officers work the extended weekend hours permanently.
People, cars get stolen. It's a lot of homicide, you know. It's just a lot of stuff going on. So 7 to 7 would be better versus 8-hour shift.
The police department did not tell us why the initiative was cut short. The department did say overall crime in the city was down 19% in June and 17% in July compared to last year. The police union criticized officers working the mandatory shifts, saying it would put strains on them.
Maybe they could find some type of medium to at least, you know, make us feel safer, and then don't overwork the police officers.
I understand it's hard when an officer works a 12-hour shift, but I think that's better for the community.
Robert Townsend, 5 on Your Side.
Tonight, the family of a mother killed by a stray bullet is asking for your help to solve the case.
It's beyond painful, and I don't think we really have the words to articulate the pain. We want the senseless gun violence just to come to a halt.
That's the parents of Deja Bowers. The mother of a young daughter was shot in her car early Monday morning. This was in the 2500 block of Broadway. Her family tells us she was on the phone when the person on the other end heard gunshots. Bowers' loved ones are holding an anti-violence vigil tomorrow evening at 6 at the site of the shooting. Growing safety concerns in South City over the Schnucks on South Grand, and now the grocery store is taking action. A Schnucks rep says they've spent more than $500,000 on security measures at this store alone. That includes 2 full-time armed security guards and a full-time off-duty police officer.
We're also going to put a fence around the perimeter along Cherokee and Grand. We're going to work with the behavioral health response team from the St. Louis Metropolitan Police Department to really try to focus some of our efforts around helping train our teammates.
Today, the company even sent a letter written to Alderwoman Megan Green and Mayor Tashara Jones asking for help. Green suggests Schnucks join the Community Improvement District, but company officials say that would lead to an additional tax on you. Today, workers at 2 Starbucks in the area unionized in a landslide vote. Those stores are in Richmond Heights on Dell Avenue and in Carbondale, Illinois. They join workers at the Ladue, Frontenac, and Tower Grove South locations. Starbucks says it plans to bargain in good faith with the union. Tonight, our I-Team has been uncovering new allegations about a St. Louis County animal shelter. And following our investigation, attorneys say St. Louis County government has taken unprecedented steps to try to restrict more information from surfacing. Investigative reporter Paula Vassan is on the case.
We've spent weeks reporting on a problem Erin Bolfin hopes never happens to anyone else. She took her dog to St. Louis County Animal Care and Control after her dog bit her daughter. She was following the rules, bringing her dog in to be examined and quarantined. Soon after, she discovered her dog Daisy was euthanized without the family's permission. And St. Louis County has recently taken steps to try and prevent her from speaking up.
Erin Bolfin believes her dog's death in December 2019 was a result of lack of organization, too few resources, and mismanagement at the county-run animal shelter. She filed this lawsuit against the facility. We interviewed a former employee who filed another lawsuit, alleging wrongful termination and retaliation for speaking up about what she calls deplorable conditions. Since our investigations into the shelter, St. Louis County has taken steps that attorney Mark Pedroli calls completely unconstitutional.
KSDK's reporting in this matter clearly sent a shockwave through St. Louis County government, because almost immediately afterwards they filed a gag order trying to prevent the attorneys from talking to KSDK.
A judge denied that motion seeking a gag order. We have called, texted, and sent multiple emails to St. Louis County officials for their reaction. St. Louis County Councilor Beth Orwick tells us she won't comment on pending litigation.
Our Paula Vassan reporting for us tonight. COVID changes. New guidance tonight from the CDC. Quarantines and social distancing are now a thing of pandemic past. Growing concerns over monkeypox. Our Verify team scratching beneath the surface to find out your risk in public.
A slight cool down and much lower humidity, also dry, but there are still some rain chances. I'll time them out for you coming up.
If you have a tip for the 5 on Your Side I-Team, call us at 314-444-5231 or email 5onyourside@ksdk.com. All calls and correspondence will be kept confidential.
We want to get you now to new images tonight of the moment a home exploded in southwest Indiana. It killed 3 people. 39 homes are damaged or destroyed in the Evansville neighborhood. The cause of that explosion is under investigation, but authorities believe it was an accident.
I personally approved the decision to seek a search warrant in this matter.
Attorney General Merrick Garland speaking today about the FBI's search of President Trump's Mar-a-Lago home. This breaks protocol within the Justice Department to not comment on ongoing investigations. Garland spoke out against threats aimed at FBI agents. Mr. Trump contends Monday's search was a surprise attack. Tonight, the CDC is out with new guidelines for COVID-19. Gone are many of the restrictions we've become accustomed to for the last 2 years. Health officials now say it's no longer necessary to stay at least 6 feet away from others to reduce the risk of exposure. It's also no longer recommended someone quarantine after an exposure to the virus, regardless of vaccination status. For schools, the CDC removed the guideline that suggested students who are exposed should test negative regularly just to attend class. The CDC says these changes can happen because of the number of people vaccinated and the number of people with natural immunity. Health officials are now focused on protecting people from having severe illness due to COVID. Now to the growing concerns over the monkeypox outbreak. Tonight, there's a plan in place to distribute the vaccine right here in the St. Louis region. Right now, there are 1,900 vials available. Only high-risk people are eligible to be vaccinated. To take the survey to see if you qualify, go to the As Seen on TV section of KSDK.com. So far, the virus has infected more than 9,400 Americans, and questions are now raising over who it affects, and our Verify team is now on that story. Here's Ariane Daytil getting answers.
We touch a lot of surfaces every day that other people have also touched. Amid the monkeypox outbreak, which the federal government has declared a public health emergency, many people online have questions about how the virus spreads. Verify viewers Becky and Rob specifically asked whether monkeypox can be transmitted by touching surfaces. So let's verify. Can you get monkeypox by touching contaminated surfaces? Our sources are the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, the California Department of Public Health, and Dr. Scott Roberts, assistant professor of infectious diseases at the Yale School of Medicine, who says the risk of getting infected through a surface is quite low.
It's not zero, but it is low. And so that risk of a fleeting contact or somebody briefly touching something probably does not lead to enough virus on that surface to infect you if you get exposed.
So yes, a person could get infected with monkeypox by touching contaminated objects, fabrics, or surfaces that have been used by someone with the virus. But that's not the most common way that it spreads. Monkeypox transmission primarily occurs through close personal, often skin-to-skin contact with people who have monkeypox symptoms, such as a rash and sores, according to the CDC and the California Department of Public Health. Roberts says studies are currently ongoing about how long the virus can survive on surfaces. So far, experts know that the virus family monkeypox comes from can survive on surfaces, particularly when in cool, dark, and low humidity environments. But Dr. Roberts and the CDC both say that these viruses are sensitive to many disinfectants.
This virus is easily killed. So common disinfectants that we use, such as alcohol wipes or Lysol wipes, very easily kill the monkeypox virus.
So we can verify, yes, monkeypox can spread by touching contaminated surfaces, but the current risk is low. Health experts are much more concerned about COVID-19 because unlike monkeypox, the virus can spread through the air. With your Verify, I'm Ariande Till.
So what would you like us to verify? You can reach out to us on Facebook, Twitter, or email verify@ksdk.com. And it was a special night for us at 5 on Your Side. We were at the Missouri History Museum. Take a look at this. As part of our 75th anniversary, we hosted a special program, Local News, Lasting Impact. It featured a panel discussion of current and former anchors, reporters, and meteorologists. And there were familiar names like Karen Foss, Art Holliday, Jennifer Blom, and Cindy Presler. If you couldn't make it out tonight, we will soon stream the program on 5+, and that's free to download on your Roku or Amazon devices. Time now to get a closer look at your forecast. For that, Jim Castillo is standing by. And Jim, we're looking at a pretty nice cool down coming.
We are. You know, we're so lucky to get these breaks this summer after it's been so hot and so humid, and then we've had these giant storms. Even in the past couple of weeks, places like this, Park Hills, the Flat River, Dillon sent this in. This happened this week, earlier this week. And then this is right in Central West End, and this is the Chase Park Plaza Hotel, a giant lightning strike there. And over the past couple of weeks, we've had numerous storms with massive lightning in them. And this is nice. Roger sent this in, and a beautiful shot there. The sunset tonight, and it's nice and dry. Now, we did have a backdoor cold front come in here, and maybe some of the wind gusts after midnight as high as 20 miles an hour. But you can see downtown right now, this beautiful live picture here of the twinkling lights. And then above us, it's partly cloudy. The Perseid meteor showers are actually peaking the 11th, 12th, and 13th. Tomorrow night, it's even more clear. So tonight, sun and a little bit of clear mixed with the cloud cover. And temperatures very warm at about 80 degrees at the moment. But tomorrow night's a little bit more on the clearer side. All right, 80 degrees right now. Feels like 83. Humidity 67%. Dew point at about 68. So that's a little high out ahead of that front that's coming on through here and kind of dissipating as it does. 87, the high today, 89 is the average, and 66 for that low, so that's comfortable. High pressure is still baking the plain states. It's retrograding a little bit to the west here. Jet stream or the storm track way up into Canada over the plain states, and then that dip there, right there, that's giving us that nicer weather here. And so once that front moves through here, we're going to see a little cloud cover tonight. That's why the Perseids tonight, it's not the best night for them to view them. And a couple showers popped up around Greene County along that front, and a thunderstorm around Pittsfield, but that is weakening. And so it looks like a dry night tonight. That front backs into the area. So that backdoor cold front kind of moves into western Missouri. And we're going to see temperatures at about 67 in the morning hours on Friday. That's tomorrow morning. So cooler and less humid for the day. And then that front becomes stationary in western Missouri. Out on this side of the front, it's actually much hotter, but we're on the comfortable side. So that's fantastic. Overnight lows tonight dropping down into the 60s. And enjoy that, because we're going back up a little bit Saturday, 89, but humidity stays in check. Sunday, 92. Better chance of rain now Monday night into Tuesday. Tuesday, it's 40% chance of rain. But notice we cool back down into the lower 80s. And next weekend, Brent, low to mid 80s.
I
Pretty
do
nice.
notice that. I'll take it too.
Yeah.
All right, thanks, Jim.
You bet.
Ahmad is next with sports.
The Cardinals have been one of the hottest teams in baseball recently, but much like our forecast, they hit a cold front. I'll explain next. Plus, we have reactions from one of the biggest football recruits in the class of 2023. I don't know about you, but right now sure feels like playoff baseball when watching the Cardinals. Every game feels like a must-win, and every loss, well, it stings just a little bit more than usual. That's because finally, this team is living up to their expectations and playing good baseball. But they ran into a brick wall up in Colorado this week. The offense was rather quiet compared to late, and the pitching took center stage. Dakota Hudson got off to a rough start. 2 earned runs, the only 2 runs he would give up in this contest. As for Genesis Cabrera, tough day at the office. 13 pitches, 4 earned runs, not one single out. That's never going to help the team out. Paul Goldschmidt and Nolan Arenado tried to dig the Birds out of this hole, going yard once each, but it wouldn't be enough. The Cardinals end their road trip with an 8-6 loss.
I mean, a little bit of frustration, but at the end of the day, there are some positives. I think we have some people contributing offensively. Newt had a really good series. Gorman put together some really good at-bats. You look at, I mean, Goldie and Nolan continue to do what they do. They're having a really good year overall. But we have some different people contributing, so hopefully we can build off that.
Second annual Field of Dreams game tonight in Dyersville, Iowa. It's Cubs versus Reds, and I'm just saying, what do we have to do to get the Cardinals in this game? Cubs had a good start. This is Seiya Yuzuki double scores Patrick Wisdom. Then it's Ian Happ with a double off his own to score another one. The Cubs scored 3 in the first and went on to win 4-2 among the cornfields. One of the biggest recruits in the St. Louis area, and I do mean the biggest, made his college decision today at Herbert Hoover Boys and Girls Club. And Miles McVeigh is trading in his East St. Louis blue and orange for some crimson and white.
I have decided to commit to the University of Alabama. Roll Tide.
The 4-star offensive lineman for the Flyers is taking his big talent to Tuscaloosa to play for Nick Saban and the Crimson Tide. McVeigh had offers from a number of other big programs like hometown Mizzou, but said the fit at Alabama was just too good to pass up.
I mean, it was nothing bad. I fully love Mizzou. Coach Drink and Coach Johnson, they all did special things for me over the years. You know, T-Mako, T-Mako, LD, Mookie, Luther, all there. It was nothing bad. It's just Alabama just touched a special place in my heart, and that's ultimately what it boiled down to, a place that I could feel comfortable. That's kind of how it happened.
Hey, Miles, I need a pair of those glasses, man. Just saying. Now, that just made me fired up because we're one Friday away from seeing young up-and-coming stars just like Miles hit the gridiron for the 2022 season. Jamboree's next Friday and week 1 the following week. Buckle up, folks. It's almost here. One team who's anxious to get things rolling happens to be the Vashon Wolverines. Their turnout has tripled over the years thanks to seasons like last year where the Wolverines finished 9-2 and made the playoffs. Part of the reason behind their turnaround is head coach Will Franklin and his staff. They do things the right way. The other key component is players like De'Air Hill Jr. Only a sophomore, he has multiple Division I offers and is now inspiring his peers to chase their dreams in between the white lines.
I'm just trying to build a program, you know what I'm saying? Everybody's like, you got a program? No, we're a team right now, and we're taking the different blocks and trying to build this and having another successful season along with a football stadium coming. That's how you build a program. So for me, and having a kid like that, it just put the icing on the cake.
And the Wolverines are 1 year away from having a stadium on their own campus, so that will be huge for the PHL.
It really will, and you can tell that coach really cares about his players.
Coach Franklin, one of the best around.
Yeah, it really is. Ahmad, thanks for that. Well, pricey packages ahead. How much more you'll have to pay to ship your holiday mail this year? Well, chances are your kids may be spending too much time online. A new survey found nearly half of all teens admit to using the internet almost constantly. That's double the amount of teens surveyed in 2015. Prepare to pay more to ship your holiday packages this year. The temporary increases will range from 25 cents to $6 a package. The U.S. Postal Service says the increase will offset rising delivery costs. And meet me at the fair. The Missouri State Fair kicking off today in Sedalia. From now until August 21st, there will be tractor pulls, a demolition derby, livestock competitions, and live music. The Illinois State Fair also kicked off in Springfield today. It also runs until August 21st. The highlight, a large sculpture of a cow made out of 500 pounds of butter. That tradition dates back more than 100 years. Well, my friends, that's all of our time. For 5 on Your Side at 10, The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon is next. And from all of us here at KSDK, we wish you a great night. Be sure to start your day, by the way, with Today in St. Louis, which begins at 4 a.m. We'll see you soon.